People say all the time that New York City never sleeps. Okay, well, clearly they haven't been to Mecca, just saying. I and some friends had a wonderful and peaceful 10 days in Saudi Arabia, spending a few days both in Medina, one of my favorite cities, and of course Mecca. I'm very grateful to have gone back to Saudi after almost 11 years, completing the Umrah pilgrimage a second time, and I hope that I'll get the chance to go back soon. Today, though, it's time to begin the journey home as we first fly from Jeddah to Istanbul with Turkish Airlines on the Airbus A330-200. Jeddah Airport has changed a lot in 11 years with a brand new terminal, and so has the Turkish A330 with a refurbished interior. So with that said, let's head to the airport and bid ma salama to Saudi Arabia. It's just before 1 o'clock in the morning here in Mecca as we wait outside the hotel for our shuttle bus across to Jeddah. Without traffic, driving between Mecca and Jeddah takes roughly an hour, but in a bus the drive was around 90 minutes. We are now pulling up to King Abdulaziz International Airport's Terminal 1, which is also accessible via the Haramain High-Speed Railway, which serves both Medina and Mecca among others. Terminal 1 was inaugurated in 2019 and really signaled a new era for the airport. The last time I was here, Turkish Airlines used either the old North or South terminals, which respectfully were kind of a dump. Thankfully, Turkish was one of many airlines that shifted to the new Terminal 1 after it opened, so this was an awesome change. The South terminal has since been closed, but the North terminal continues to operate for a limited few airlines. Also, brief tangent, but Jeddah Airport is also home to the famous Hajj terminal, which is only really used during the Hajj pilgrimage season each year and can accommodate up to 80,000 people at one time. It's an absolute marvel of engineering, and I'd recommend reading further about it if you have time. Now, given airports like Jeddah and Medina see millions of pilgrims every year, a unique amenity that they offer is the opportunity to purchase Zamzam water, Islamic holy water, before you walk into the terminal. The best part is, these boxes don't even count towards your luggage allowance and are checked in for free. Moving inside the check-in hall, you can really appreciate just how stunning this terminal really is. And with that said, checking in was an absolute breeze. We got there a little bit early, so there wasn't really much of a line to drop off our bags and get our boarding passes. Just after check-in was automated passport control and then security check, both of which were really efficient and completed within 10 minutes. I'm going to keep saying it, I was really impressed by just how much the whole airport experience in Jeddah has improved since the last time I was here. Now, Terminal 1 is a whopping 8.7 million square feet, one of the biggest airport terminals in the world. With that said, there is a train that takes you from one end of the terminal to the other, which helps a lot, not only given how big the terminal is, but also because most international airlines using Terminal 1 operate from the far end of the building. In terms of amenities, Terminal 1 of course houses the main lounges for Saudia and also has a good amount of food places and shops. A fair bit is still under construction as new businesses move in, but otherwise you shouldn't have any issues finding something to eat or to pass time with. We're departing from gate A28 this morning, and waiting at the gate when we arrived was Emirates 802 Super to Dubai. The craziest thing is that this exact plane would follow me to Istanbul, and I'd end up seeing it there later that day. And here's another fact I wanted to bring up about Jeddah Airport. Terminal 1's opening brought with it the introduction of proper jet bridges to the airport's main terminals. Before Terminal 1, only the Hajj terminal had jet bridges, meaning flights from all other terminals would use remote stands. So again, Terminal 1 was really just a much needed upgrade for Jeddah Airport. Having not eaten in a while, I finally decided to get some of that iconic al-Baik, but ironically enough, that was the first and only time on this trip that I had it. And I'm sorry to say, while my barbecue chicken sandwich was good, it did not at all live up to the hype. Eventually, I made it back to the gate and our aircraft soon landed from Istanbul. Tango Charlie Juliet November Delta is our A330 this morning, and as some real deja vu, it's my second time on board this aircraft. My first time flying it was in 2014 from Istanbul to Chicago, and funny enough, that was also when I was flying back from Jeddah. Turkish Airlines aircraft are named after Turkish cities, and this aircraft is named after Turkey's fifth largest city, Antalya. Now, with 59 Airbus A330s in its fleet, Turkish is the world's second largest operator after Delta Airlines. However, only 12 of Turkish's A330s are A330-200s, with the remainder being 37 A330-300s and 10 A330-200 freighters. Eventually, boarding started on time, and despite business class and status holders boarding first as usual, Turkish boards economy class from back to front. That means economy class boarding usually feels a lot quicker because there's only two main groups as opposed to 3, 4, or 5 like we see here in the US. Turkish's A330-200 is sort of a confusing case because even though they only have 12 aircraft, there's 3 different cabin configurations. Our A330 is one of the 5 legacy A330-200s that Turkish received directly from Airbus between 2005 and 2006. These aircraft are under the 332 fleet designation and have 250 seats, 18 in business class and 232 in economy. And fun fact, Turkish recently resumed service to Kabul, Afghanistan with the A330-200, and for some reason they only rotate these 5 specific aircraft on the route, and I'm not too sure why that is, so if anyone has any information on that, leave me a comment below. Moving on, Turkish also has 6 former TAM Brazil A330-200s in a higher density configuration referred to as the 33A. These have 279 seats with 24 in business class and 255 in economy. And then lastly, Turkish somehow has one A330-200 in an entirely different configuration referred to as the 33M with 30 business class seats and 222 in economy. This one plane is registered Tango Charlie Lima Oscar Mike and previously flew with Avianca, and another fun fact, it's Turkish's only A330-200 with the Rolls-Royce Trent engines. My seat this morning is 8A in the forward economy class cabin, and the seats are very comfortable with adjustable headrests and soft fabric upholstery. These aircraft were retrofitted in 2017, which is a relief given this is how the cabin looked like when I flew this exact plane in 2014. The new seats have much larger entertainment screens that are adjustable and house USB-A ports and headphone jacks. There's also a remote control for the system if you need it. Coat hooks are present as well, along with a tray table and seat pocket. Now, Turkish is one of very few airlines that still offer footrests in economy class, and while the 787s and A350s don't have them, you'll still find them on the A330s and 777s. And honestly speaking, I find these footrests to be more of an obstruction than a convenience. Regardless, the legroom is still fantastic, and it helped even more that today's flight was quite empty up front, giving many passengers, including myself, entirely open rows. And unlike Turkish's 777s, the A330 does have individual air vents. I was pleasantly surprised to see that the cabin retrofit also brought with it mood lighting, and this was a beautiful and calming light show as we began to push back.
Seatbelt fastened and visible until the seatbelt sign is off. When needed, you can release it as shown. Before the flight, extension and root belts are given out by the cabin crew. Please switch your mobile phones and all other electronic devices to flight mode. Mobile phones and other electronic devices without a flight mode must be switched off. Before takeoff and landing, please unplug all
سبحان الذي سخر لنا هذا وما كنا له مقرنين وإنا إلى ربنا لمنقلبون.
The entertainment system on Turkish is really quite solid. The system is responsive and loaded with a decent amount of content. This includes flight-specific information, games, and religious and travel-related content. Breakfast was served about 45 minutes into the flight. I had apple juice to drink, and there was only one main choice, some sort of cheese and spinach pastry, which was pretty good, alongside cold cheese and some vegetables, yogurt, cup water, bread roll, butter and strawberry jam, salt and pepper, and a towelette, all of it served with metal cutlery. As usual on Turkish, the food was great, and I cleaned out most of the tray. Definitely more than enough food for this nearly 4-hour flight. Now, the rest of the flight was uneventful. Turkish does have Wi-Fi on their wide-body aircraft, but I never bothered to try it out. On this flight, I knocked out right after breakfast, and I was literally out cold until I woke up right as we began our descent. Now, no matter what side of the plane you're on, the approach into Istanbul I've found tends to be pretty scenic. This morning we're landing from the south, and so sadly I'm gonna miss seeing most of the city and the old Ataturk airport, but still lots of cool stuff to see as we approach runway 35 right. So as I've been covering throughout this series, my flights were booked as part of an Umrah package to Saudi that also included hotels, transportation, and other activities. Turkish once again provided a fantastic experience this morning with a great seat, crew, and food as well. Now, do be aware that if you want to pre-book your seat in economy, unfortunately it does charge extra, and I believe my seat was around $18 to $20. Now, it is pretty crazy that my last flight on an A330-200 was in 2014, that too on this exact same plane. Kind of cool how that worked out, but great flight once again, and here's our arrival at the gate. Now, you might recall that when I connected in Istanbul from Chicago to Medina, I didn't have to clear transit security. And that's because US arrivals in Istanbul are somehow exempted from transit security, but I don't know the exact reason. Today, of course, we're coming in from Saudi, so this flight is treated like any other arrival, meaning that we will clear transit security. We arrived into the north end of the B concourse, which gave us about a 10 to 15 minute walk to the checkpoint in the main central area of the terminal. And this is where we'll pick up from next time as we connect here in Istanbul back to Chicago. Teşekkürler ederiz for watching, and until next time everybody, take care and see you soon.